This is Jeff Zimmerman with FightNews.com. I'm with the trainer of Vergil Ortiz Jr., rising star in boxing, here with Manny Robles. How you doing, Manny?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. We were just talking about this Texas heat coming from California. Obviously, it gets hot out there, but what are your thoughts?
It's hot and humid out here in Texas.
Yeah.
Cali, I mean, it's what are we in the 80s right now, which isn't too bad compared to 100 and what are you guys about 110?
Probably 105.
With the humidity, it feels like 120. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
It's brutal, but it's nice. It's a nice town. It's my second time here in Dallas, and it's beautiful out here.
Listen, Manny, you're a boxing lifer. You've been in this game a long time, been a trainer for a long time, and took a guy by the name of Andy Ruiz Jr. all the way to the heavyweight title. What was that experience like?
Incredible. It was an incredible experience winning a world title. Him being the first Mexican-American heavyweight champion of the world. It was just an incredible experience, something that I'll never forget, for sure.
Now, obviously, it was documented, going into the rematch, things didn't, go as well. But where do you and Andy stand today?
Well, I think we're good. I mean, I haven't seen him in a little while, to be honest with you. He's doing his thing, I'm doing mine. But I think we have a good relationship. You can never forget and take away what we did together him as a fighter, myself as a coach. The bond that we built together. What we did, we made history together. I'd rather take that with me, take the good and know that we did something special, and I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather just live with that. I'd rather stay with that and know that we made history together, and it was something I'll never forget.
Listen, there's so many great trainers just in LA. A lot of people go there because of the sparring, a lot of champions. You got Freddie Roach, Robert Garcia, Roger Romo's here right now. You got yourself. What is it, about LA and boxing?
I consider Southern California to be the boxing capital of the world. I mean, when it comes to boxing gyms, when it comes to boxing activity that is at the gyms and getting top work, great weather. We got the mountains, we got the beaches, we got the weather. You have people from all over the world wanting to come to Southern California to train and work out. And when you have that, I mean, you get the best of all worlds. You get fighters from Eastern Europe, Western Europe, from South America, from all walks of life. Fighters from all over the world, in every weight class. You get great work. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, it sure does. And I forgot Joel Diaz is another guy out there.
So many great coaches. Joel Diaz, Robert Garcia, Abel Sanchez, and
right.
As you mentioned, Freddie. Freddie helped us quite a bit for this fight with Vergil. We would stop at his gym from. So, what's up, Freddie? Thank you, Freddie, for all the help. Marie, they went ahead and helped us out quite a bit with some of Freddie's fighters. With southpaws. So we come in on a weekly basis, once a week, to come in and get some great work with McKinson, an Irish kid that he's working with, a southpaw. And with Elvis Rodriguez, I forget that the kid fights on Thursday. The Irish kid fights on Thursday. I forget his name, but he's an up-and-coming talent, very, very good fighter. And so, you probably work with like 7 or 8 different southpaws for this fight, just in Southern California. So it was great.
Now, when Vergil decided to leave Robert,
yeah.
There was a lot of speculation. He was kind of making the rounds, stopped by Canelo, Eddie Reynoso's camp. And, some people maybe were surprised that he ended up with you. What
Right.
makes that relationship work?
No, and things are working out great, to be honest with you. I mean, I get along great with Vergil Sr., Jr., Hector, the strength and conditioning coach that's, I brought in, and Matias that's been working under me for quite some time now. They also need a strength and conditioning coach, so I brought my guy in, and everything's going smooth. Everything's been going smooth. It's been going great. Unfortunately, as you know, Vergil, due to an illness, wasn't able to fight a few months back, but now he's back to normal, thank goodness. And ready to perform on Saturday night. Good chemistry, good sparring. Like I said, I mentioned to you, we have the best of all worlds in Southern California and LA particularly, because we're right in the middle of everything. So and then it's been a perfect scenario.
Now you mentioned he had a health issue, and that was your first fight with him. How difficult was that just for the whole team and you?
It was difficult for everyone, but at the end of the day, we have to do what's best for the fighter. We're here for the fighter, and the fighter owns. You know what I mean? If the fighter isn't 100, this is a dangerous sport, man, and you risk your life every time you step into that ring. So if you know you're not 100%, if you know you're dealing with an illness that could cost you your life, and it's best to cancel and to wait for another day. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what we did. We had to pull the plug, and we did what was best for Vergil in this case, despite what people might say or think. But we don't care. We're here for the fighter and for the well-being of the fighter. And I think that any coach would have done the same thing I did. I mean, it's teamwork, and we all, got together and including the promoter, of course, and felt that it was best for us to cancel the fight and wait for another day.
How good is Vergil Ortiz Jr.? Just in the short time I'm sure you've seen a lot of his fights.
Incredible, man. He's got an incredible work ethic. This kid works extremely hard, extremely dedicated, and that's why it was so hard for him not to fight, a few months back and cancel. I mean, if anybody took it to heart, it was Vergil. If anybody was devastated and was really hurt by the fact that he wasn't able to fight, it was Vergil himself. And but now he's back. Better, bigger, stronger than ever, and you'll see it on Saturday night.
He's chomping at the bit to get a world title shot.
Yes.
He's been #1 in the WBO. Obviously, Bud Crawford's there. I just talked to Bud, and Bud said, yeah, he would fight him if the Spence fight fell through. But in your eyes, is Vergil just right there with all the rest of the top dogs?
I think he's right there, close to being there, and that's what we need this fight Saturday night. Everything is on a fight to fight basis. Everything is based on performance. So we'll see come Saturday night after he performs on under the big lights. We'll see if he's ready for something bigger than what's expected Saturday night. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Terence Crawford is a great fighter, great human being, great person, great athlete, great boxer, great all-around individual. I have nothing but the utmost respect for him, and if there was ever a fight to take place between Terence Crawford and Vergil, I think it'd be fireworks, man. But only time can tell.
And then Vergil in a Texas showdown, Vergil and Spence.
Incredible. It'd be awesome. It'd be fantastic. It's something that we're all eager to see, and every fan out there, boxing fan out there, would be eager and anticipate a huge showdown between Crawford and Vergil, or any of the other champions for that matter. You have the division is stacked.
Boots Ennis.
Boots Ennis and Errol Spence and so forth and so on. A lot of good. If you look at the rankings from 1 through 10, 1 through 15, 1 through 20, it's stacked with talent. So if it isn't one of these guys, if it isn't Terence Crawford, there's a lot of good fighters, a lot of good prospects at 147 that can make up for a good fight.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Manny Robles here in Texas with this new prize pupil, Vergil Ortiz Jr. Big fight against Michael McKinson on DAZN, Golden Boy Promotions, this Saturday night in Fort Worth at Dickie's Arena. Manny, appreciate the time and look forward to seeing you in LA one of these days.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me.
Jeff Zimmerman, FightNews.com.